Now then guys, welcome back to Wandering Souls Adventures. Another camp today. We're heading for a little bit of a wild spot we've found. Going to be a bit later, so he'll join us a bit later on this afternoon, hopefully before dark, before we set up. Not forecast to rain today, but as you can see over the back of me, it's not looking great. Anyway, going to take a bit of a detour, head down the beach and take a coastal path, and then we'll catch back up with you when we get there. Right guys, we've reached our destination. Hopefully not a final destination.
Death,
excuse me for being quiet.
doesn't like to be cheated.
Footpath, I'll just turn you around. So we get quite a lot of dog walkers. Somebody's just walked around that corner to the right there, so I'm just going to give it a minute before I dash off into here. I don't want to be seen. It goes all the way that way, and here you can see we're next to quite a busy golf course and a holiday park just there. Right, you have to excuse me a minute. There's some dog walkers behind me in the distance. I don't know if you can see them. Probably a bit too far back. I'll bring them back when we dash in. They're heading off. So let's go for it. I have to be a bit careful guys, because the last time I was here I found 3 or 4 herons nesting, or heron nests should I say. There's about 6 or 7 of them, so we'll try and stay away from those as much as we can. Alright guys, now this was the spot me and Ad were going to come and hopefully camping tonight. As you can see, it's a real mess, absolute state. I don't know why people bother coming out and camping if they're going to leave a shithole like this. Anyway, excuse the language guys, we're pissing off. Anyway, bit of tidying up, and this will be a fantastic spot for the both of us. I'm not sure how Adam's planning on setting up tonight. I don't know whether he's using a tarp or a tent, so we'll have to figure that out when he gets here. Now I'm hoping to set up a tarp, so there should be plenty of space for me to set up. Anyway, bring you back in a bit. We've done a little bit about wild camping and some bushcraft skills and firelighting just recently, and one of the things me and Ad were talking about is that lots of people tend to tell you about things when doing the videos and don't always show you how to do them, and a lot of that's to do with time. If we showed you everything in each video, they'd be hours and hours long. Anyway, one of the things that we struggled to find when we first started was fatwood. People used to talk about fatwood for firelighting. Nobody really shows you how to collect it and where to get it from. So what we'll do is we'll have a little look around in these woods here, find us a nice pine tree, and we'll explain a little bit more about what it is and how we collect it and how we process it. Right, I'll bring you back when you found some. Right then guys, so as I said, we're going to look at collecting some fatwood today. Now, fatwood is the highly resinous sapwood from pine trees, what tends to happen is the branch will snap, or the branch will die, and the tree sends lots and lots of resin and sap there to try and seal it off, saturates the wood. But of course the resin is highly flammable, so it's really good for making what we call fatwood. Use it to shave off some filings, some shavings even. Makes fantastic tinder, burns for ages. Let's see if we can find some. Right guys, so what we're looking for is some pine trees. There's loads around here. And what we need is the lower branches. So the lower branches tend to die off. They're no use to the tree. They don't do anything at all to make it live or survive. And those branches, because they're dead, usually fill with lots and lots of resin, lots and lots of sap. And that's where you'll find the fatwood. So I've got a tree just here. I'll just turn you around. I don't know if you can see there, guys. We've got a dead pine tree. Now all those branches lower down should be full of fatwood, full of resin, full of sap. So what we'll do is we'll get our pruning saw out. We'll take one of those low branches and we'll have a little look. Right then guys, so we've found our branch. We're going to take this lower one here. Now you want the ones closest to the bottom. They tend to have the most fatwood in them, most resin even, should I say. And what you want to do is you want to cut this really close to the tree for two reasons really. One, because if you cut it really close, it'll create a nice wound. The bark will cover it up and it'll heal nicely. Also, the resin will fill that gap, seal it off, make sure it doesn't get any diseases or die off. And not every branch lower down has got fatwood, so let's hope this is some. Ah, perfect. Right, so I don't know if you guys can see that really dark amber area there is where the resin is soaked into the branch. That's definitely fatwood, first one. First cut, perfect. Now we're not going to take any more than that. We just need it to make some tinder. Start a bit of a fire later, so let's go and process it. Right then guys, so we've got a fatwood, or should I say pine branch, a dead pine branch. What you need to do now is process it. So what I like to do is use an axe. I'm just going to take off those lower limbs, branches that we don't need. And not all of this is going to be fatwood. What you tend to find is that the wood closest to where the tree is, so this section, is going to contain all the resin. Further down, there's not going to be a great deal there, so that's great for starting a fire, tinder. This here is going to be your fatwood. Alright, so what I tend to do then is get a sharp axe or a knife, and all you're going to do is scrape back some of that bark. Now like I said, not all of it is going to contain resin. Shave all that bark off until you've got the fatwood you need, and I'll bring you back when I'm done.
Alan, I'm heading, trying to find Taylor now. I know he's a few miles away. He sent me like a pin location. He had to go on ahead because, well, just life really. I've not been able to get away today, but after a long ass week I'm dying to get, well, I'm just dying to get moving, to be fair, but I'm also trying not to get spotted, so right, I'll see you when I get a bit closer.
Right then guys, we'll just bring you back. The man himself has turned up, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah. Just setting up our sleep setup so now before it gets too dark. I'm going for a bit of an enclosed tarp tent setup. Got it cinched off to a tree there, should I say, even just pull the peak up a little bit. And a hiking pole to give me the ridge line. Ad again's going for a bit of a lean-to.
Slight difference and giving me a bit of a roof this time.
Yeah, he's given himself a bit of an overhang. I don't think it's meant to rain, but just gives him a bit of a shelter from these trees that are falling. We've picked a spot we think should be alright.
We're gonna die.
Worst case scenario, we might get battered and bruised, but I don't think any of these are big enough to kill us. And I think Ad's going for it. You offer a tent under there again, Ad?
I think so. If I can do it before the light disappears on me, yeah.
So we'll bring you back once we're set up, guys, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. Oh, and if we hadn't have learned from our mistakes last time, spin you around, silly bollocks here is forgotten his tarp to lay on. So luckily, yeah, me, not him. So luckily I've got my bivvy bag, the army issue one that I bought from an army surplus store, so I'll be sleeping on that tonight for a tarp. Fingers crossed that I won't get my ear map punctured. Anyway. So, fatwood, you saw me cutting earlier. All I've done is I've scraped the bark off of it just to get down to the resin and sap saturated wood. Just use the back of my knife. I've scraped some shavings off down here, and we'll put a little bit of clip in that for you in a second. Excuse my poor knife handling, guys. And I've put some wood chips of the fat wood in there as well. Now I'll just use my firelight. I'll just show you how easily it takes. Famous last words. And actually I did a test last night and I cut about an inch by about half an inch off, and I burnt it, and it burnt for about 3 minutes. He says, look, you watch. I blew it out. So what I've got on there, guys, is some of the fat wood on top of some of that birch bark we harvested earlier. Now what I have picked is some conifer needles. Again, because they're full of sap, they tend to burn quite nicely. Gets the fire going. It's a bit smelly, but it'll be nice because it'll get rid of these bloody mosquitoes. There you have it. Easy as that.
That's my setup, guys. Pretty much the same as last time, except I've put a little ridge across the top, so it's a bit of a roof that I can actually like stand under. Well, I say stand under, I can duck under a little bit. But now we're here, got the fire lit. Time to sit down, have a drink, chill out, and have a catch up.
Right, guys, my sleep setup for the night then, all sorted. We've got the tarp tent. I can close this front off if I need to, just by dropping that bungee cord there. Inside we've got plenty of room, look. The bivvy bag on the floor because this idiot left his tarp. Or ground tarp, should I say. Jungle bag with me softies in there, so I should be banging them on shortly. And then over to Adam's setup. I think he's already shown you it, but tarp over the top, tent under the bottom, just like before. Little luxuries, like a little porch away. Forgot to show you the decorations, guys. Had down there making his scran look. Just a little
atmospheric and romantic.
Absolutely romantic. We're going to snuggle in a minute.
The fuck
anyway,
you are.
Just another little budget tip. These cost me £1, something like that. I take them fishing with me usually, because although they look a bit festive, is the right word, I think.
I think they're called fairy lights.
Yeah, they're definitely called fairy lights. They're the light's not overly intrusive, so as you can see, it gives us enough light to see what we're doing, but doesn't shine too brightly anywhere else. Fire going.
We recently got asked on, I think, our previous camping video from one of our new subscribers. I think his name was Lee. I can't remember your last name, I'm sorry, dude. Like, what got us into camping and like why we started and whatnot. But when we've both got similar reasons and different reasons at the same time. We've always been kind of outdoorsy when we was kids. It's only when we became adults, families, kids, mortgages, jobs, life, just in general, things kind of fell by the wayside. You don't get out as much, and it's weird. You just kind of forget that that's the sort of stuff you used to do until you get out. So we do say quite a lot. It's like mental health aspect, and that is a big part of it. I know we was both wanting to, because we kept, every time we was messaging or seeing each other, was like, we're gonna have to get out, we're gonna have to get out, we're gonna have to go for a walk, go for a hike, whatever. And we just never did. It was always like, I've got work, I've got this, I've got that. And I know from my side, the final straw was my wife in the end was like, just go, like, forget about us for the day, just go do it. And it spiraled, and now we're trying to camp as often as we can and get out as often as we can. And that's one of my reasons anyway, the most recent one. And then
Right guys, so pretty much the same as Ad really. I suppose one of the main reasons for me was, like most people in the last few years, it's been a bit shitty, hasn't it? Lots of personal stuff going on, and for me it was I needed to get out the house and do something for my own sanity really. I think when we started making YouTube videos, didn't we, Ad? Because it was one, it's always, when you can't get yourself up in the morning, you're feeling a bit shitty, there's always something there to look back on, something positive.
yeah,
So we started recording and basically just documenting what we were doing. It was for us, we weren't really for any other reason. And since then it's become a bit of a mission to get out and unwind, exercise, clear the mind, just love it. So many reasons. It started off with a bit of a, not so much a negative, but developed into a real positive, hasn't it?
yeah, definitely. And obviously we've set ourselves the challenge of wanting to do the charity hike, which I know we haven't fully gone into all the details, and we'll probably do like a specific video on that when we've decided on all the final details and how we're going to do it. But yeah, that's kind of it really. I mean, we've both got loads of interest, probably more interest than what we should. Like, we can't go through and do all our hobbies. A lot of the stuff we want to do, but money comes into it, same as everything else. But yeah, there's millions of things that are away from camping that we're interested in, and I'm sure there is with you. In fact, actually, if you want, comment below one thing that you're interested in, that you're passionate about, that makes you happy, that don't have to necessarily be camping or hiking or whatever. And I know most of you are probably only watching this because of the camping and the hiking and whatever, but everybody's got different interests, and I'd be interested to see or hear what you're into, what your hobbies are. Time for some food. Having a hot chocolate because last time I didn't sleep, so I'm assuming it's because I had a coffee quite late, which is just dumb. And although I swore last time I wasn't going to have another bowl noodle, I bought two at the same time, so obviously I'm going to eat that one this time.
I'm still saying it's those horrific noises those Muntjac were making.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I didn't mind that too much, but I was just awake. Right, time to get with the food.
I think guys, that's Eddie's scran. Time for mine, just some basic super noodles, a rocket stove and a hot chocolate. If you don't see any more from us tonight, hopefully you'll see us again in the morning. Right guys, that's us for the night. Currently in my tarp tent, in my jungle bag, my bivvy bag, nice and toasty. It's been a great night as usual. Fire's out, Ad's just tucking himself in. I'm not sure I'll get much sleep because it's a bit windy and these trees around us are cracking a little bit. We've got the tail end of that storm that's just passed through, and it's not too bad, but when you're camping in the woods and you can hear the trees cracking above you, you don't tend to sleep so much. Anyway, fingers crossed you'll see us in the morning. Right, guys.
What was that?
Like a deer or something. Really?
Yeah.
Literally just ran into my tent.
Did it probably run into you?
Yeah.
It fucking sounded like it ran right through.
Right, guys, I know that was me for the night, but something quite large just ran into my tent. I'm thinking it was probably a deer, but we have seen some badger sets around here. Anyway, if I was not sleeping beforehand, I'm probably not going to now. Fingers crossed for the night, guys.
Well, that's me done for the night, guys. Although I tried to film this a second ago, and all of a sudden something, I think Taylor's just said anyway, something ran through the camp, slammed into his tarp and carried on running. No idea what that is. It's either going to be a deer, a badger, a fox or a junkie. It's one.
Y'all act like crack is so bad!
But hopefully get some sleep. Who knows? Probably going to be awake all night listening to someone running through us. But if we're still here in the morning, we'll bring you back. All in all, it's about 5 AM. Much better night last night than last time. Still a little bit cold, but it's winter, so you know, don't really know what I expect. We had the visitor come back a couple more times for running through the camp. Still didn't catch what it was, but whatever. Didn't run into my tent, so I don't care. I reckon I'll lay for a little bit longer and then get up, probably wake Taylor up and start packing everything away. I don't know if I'm going to have a coffee this morning. We'll just set it off. But still, much better night, a bit more comfier. Yeah, cool.
Morning, guys. Still alive. Whatever it was in the night, we could didn't eat me, so that's a bonus. Tree never came down on us. Double win. Dead weird though. Between 2 and 4, I just said grunting like pigs, like boars, and they're just running around all over the place. I'm assuming it was deer. I don't know. Anybody has their ideas, give us a shout out. Definitely want muntjac, because there was no blood curdling screaming. Yeah, really weird. We did see some badger sets actually on the way in. It could be badgers, who knows. Anyway, time to pack up and head off in a bit. Right, guys, just a little bit of a tip. Adam's tip, not mine. Adam's packed away. If you're using your tarp on a ridgeline, you don't actually have to let it touch the floor when you're packing it away. I know I showed you in one of the other videos about me rolling them up. I'm a bit particular. You can do it all when it's like this. So basically all you're going to do is concentrate it over it on itself. It's still off the floor. The beauty of doing it this way is you keep all the dirt and the water and stuff inside of it, so when you get home you can just unroll it and dry it out. I know loads of people just stuff them in the sack, but that ain't for me. I like to fold them properly. You fold it over, fold it over again. Tuck it back so it's in half, and you basically just keep repeating the process until it's down to whatever size pack you need, and stuff it away.
Right, that's us done again, guys. This is what's left of the camp. We haven't been here. In fact, if anything, there's more sign that the deer's been running through here. We actually did see 2 of them scarper off there while we was packing away, so it was definitely deer that slammed into Taylor's tarp, and it wasn't like Sasquatch or any serial killers in the
yeah,
woods.
well, we never saw it, so I call bull on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple of road there just jumping through camp as we were packing up. They were scared off by some dog walkers, weren't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's us done for another day. And you know, if you like, subscribe, whatever, comment again, like I say, anything you're interested in. Yeah.
And nothing, guys. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them down below. Any feedback. What we're going to try and do is when we set up camp, we're sat around talking nonsense of an evening. We'll try and answer a few of them for you. We answered one last night, so feel free to ask us anything.
Yeah.
I can't promise we'll answer it if it's
Yeah, don't start asking us like maths questions and stuff.
yeah,
Cause...
2 or 2 we'll be stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to ask us questions, guys. Gives us something to talk about if nothing else,
Yeah.
other than having to talk to him all night.
Yeah, true. Right, anyway, on to the next.
On to the next.